The second reading from the Book of Unmasking. Attend now, you who linger between becoming and unbecoming, you who have not yet turned back. For there comes a moment, written in no calendar, when the soul stands upright and realizes it has been kneeling its entire life. This is that moment. Do not look for thunder. Do not wait for permission. Revelation does not announce itself. It arrives like a knife wrapped in silk. You have walked a long way to reach this sentence. Farther than language can follow, farther than memory is willing to admit. You crossed years that felt like corridors, days that repeated like prayers no longer believed in, nights where your name felt foreign in your own mouth, and still you did not vanish. This alone marks you. For many dissolve when the weight becomes unbearable. Many choose sleep over sight. Many trade truth for comfort and call it wisdom. But not you. Something in you remained alert even when everything else begged to rest. You sensed it early, that fracture in the world's voice, that subtle wrongness in the rules you were handed. You were told what to want. You were taught how to stand, how to speak, how to behave. You were given mirrors that reflected obedience and were punished for asking where the glass came from. And when you hesitated, when your spirit recoiled, they called it defiance, they called it weakness, they called it madness. But hear this now, as it is written in the margins of every burned book. Madness is not seeing too much. Madness is agreeing to see too little. The unease you carried was not a flaw. It was discernment without language. You felt the pull long before you understood it, a gravity towards something unnamed, a quiet certainty that the world as presented was incomplete, and so you endured. You endured the dull ache of half-truths. You endured the exhaustion of pretending to fit. You endured being misread by those who never learned your alphabet. You became fluent in survival, but survival, beloved, is only the first gate. Beyond it lies the greater demand. For awakening does not ask what you can gain. It asks what you are willing to relinquish. And now we arrive at the threshold. Here is what must change. Not your anger, it taught you direction. Not your sorrow, it taught you depth. Not even your fear, it kept you alive when you were surrounded. What must change is the altar at which you kneel. You must cease worshiping approval. You must dethrone the need to be understood. You must release the habit of explaining your existence to those committed to misunderstanding it. For understand this. Every system survives by convincing the sharp to dull themselves. Every cage worth escaping is disguised as responsibility. You were trained to confuse endurance with virtue, silence with peace, obedience with love, and you were rewarded just enough to stay. But the reward was always smaller than the cost. Now your hands tremble not from fear, but from readiness. This is the sign. The old texts speak of it obliquely, the shaking before the crossing. The moment when the initiate realizes they can no longer return to innocence, only advance into clarity. You feel heavier now, do you not? That is not burden, that is gravity. You are beginning to matter to yourself, and with that comes consequence. Those who knew you by your compliance will call this betrayal. Those who benefited from your silence will mourn the version of you that obeyed. Let them mourn. Ash remembers the shape of the fire, long after it cools. You are not here to be palatable. You are here to be precise. Precision is what frightens them, not your chaos. Anyone can scream. Few can stand still and refuse to move when commanded. This is where you learn the deeper art. You learn when to speak and when to withhold language, like a sealed letter. You learn that boundaries are not walls, but measurements. You learn that clarity cuts cleaner than rage. And slowly, almost imperceptibly, you stop asking who you are allowed to be. You begin asking who you refuse to remain. This is the sacred pivot. This is where the book turns dark, not with evil, but with ink thick enough to hold truth. Remember this, when doubt returns wearing familiar faces, you did not come this far to be reduced again. You did not shed illusions to adopt new disguises. You did not wake up to go back to sleep. What you are becoming will cost you. It will cost you relationships built on convenience. It will cost you roles that depended on your self-erasure. It will cost you the comfort of being underestimated. Pay it gladly. Nothing of value is free, especially sovereignty. And when the world leans in and whispers, "Who do you think you are now?" answer only in silence. For the truest transformations leave no need for explanation. This path does not end in ruin, though it will be mistaken for it. It ends in alignment, and alignment feels dangerous to a crooked world. So go forward, not loudly, not violently, Not in haste. Go with intention, sharpened by patience. Carry your history without letting it steer. Carry your scars without letting them speak for you. And if ever you forget how far you've come, remember this passage, hidden in the spine. You were never broken. You were unfinished. And now the writing continues, was only the beginning.